Welcome to the No Score Review Show, where we have in-depth discussion and nuanced critique of all of the latest movies, video games, and TV shows, as well as all of the things that have come out in the past. And I am your host, Nick Green, and today joining me is Jake Sturkenboom once again. And today we are going to be talking Barbie, the first part to the Barbenheimer craze this summer weekend. The first bit of this review will be spoiler free, and we'll do a little breakdown of our expectations and our general thoughts going into the movie, and then we'll put up an explicit spoiler warning, get into the deep dive of everything, and yeah. So Jake, welcome back. How did you feel about Barbie?
Nick, I was thoroughly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Thoroughly surprised. I was kind of, I didn't really know what like the whole story was.
Right.
So I kind of, I'd seen the trailers. Out of context, the trailers didn't show much, but looking back on it, I think the trailers showed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Expectations were blown out of the water for me. I think with how they did it, I think it lined up with my humor. I think this is a movie where your humor really needs to line up with the humor they're trying to do in the movie to like it. I understand how people would say, "Oh, it's just not made for me."
Right.
But I think the way they did things was just like very well done, very funny, and I had a wonderful time.
I'm right there with you. I was very pleasantly surprised. I was very it was very much cautious optimism going into this because of the nature of it being a Barbie movie. I think what um, held it back from pessimism was the creative team behind it, like Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, and the entire cast really sold me on it. And then especially once like trailers and stuff finally started coming out to sell you on the tone of the film, it's a very like meta like commentary on several things. Like it's very much baked into the themes and the entire script of the movie of like uh bashing the patriarchy and like talking about gender issues and everything, but it still feels like it's still a studio comedy first and foremost, and it's hilarious. Like you said, I completely agree. There were so many good quotable like one liners, especially
Yeah.
from Ken. Speaking of Ken, the musical number like 2/3 of the way through the film was fantastic. uh Oscar award worthy.
Yes,
And
100%.
yeah, I don't have much bad to say about this film. I did want to point out, because I've seen a couple other reviews talk about it. I can definitely understand how some people might think like some of the handling of the subject matter might be a bit on the nose, with like when it comes to like the gender issues and like patriarchy and whatnot. It might be a little on the nose and could have used a little bit more um, symbolism, or just like be a little bit more subtle. But it didn't bother me that much. I actually think the on the nose nature of a lot of the themes worked really well with the meta like aspect of the film, and like just being very directly tied to our reality, you
Yeah.
know.
I
um
I think with the whole patriarchy thing and you saying they're very on the nose with it, I took it as satire because
sure.
so many people beat down that horse, and I think being able to be so satirical about it
Hmm.
made it work. Like I don't people are like, "Oh, they're saying patriarchy like a million times in this." But you have to take I take it as a joke, but still it has underlying subtext. Yes, it's
Hmm.
an issue, but we're going to beat down this horse because let's just do it. Who cares, right?
Right. Yeah, and it also just makes it easily digestible as well. Like it's not trying to be a super serious like take on this whole thing. It definitely has strong opinions and has like a strong message regarding all of those topics. But I think it still makes it easily digestible. It relates well to the meta commentary throughout the film and just the the genre that it's playing within. So it didn't bother me that much. But just wanted to acknowledge that maybe it can be like on the nose a lot of the time throughout the film. So if that like maybe just know that going in, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Um, I would say it's actually the other thing I wanted to point out was actually felt more like a movie for adults and not like even
Yeah.
in the like swearing, nudity, like gore sense. It's just like it handles a
Words.
lot of adult like themes and
Yeah.
subject matter, right? Like I can completely see like people taking their kids to it, but the kids like just being bored with like how the movie tells its story and deals with things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something else to maybe know going in. I think there's still a ton of Pink and Barbie related stuff going on that it might hold the kids over for the hour 40 runtime. I
Yeah.
also really appreciate the runtime. It
Nice.
like
Nice
is very
under.
efficient in and out. Um, but yeah, very much more adult than I was expecting, and not just a hollow piece of corporate cash grab.
It's not, and they take shots at Mattel, and I don't know how that was like
How did they even pull
cleared,
that off? You know?
but hey, I guess they gave Greta Gerwig the bus, and she just went
Yeah,
just
no
went at
kidding.
them, and yeah, no, I think that there is like a lot of creative freedom here. Like, Mattel didn't put Greta Gerwig in a box, they let her do her thing, which was good.
Nice.
Um, yeah, no, it was good. And speaking of Mattel, I know a lot of people were talking shit about Will Ferrell and how like not good he was. I didn't see it anywhere. I Will Ferrell does what like he did what Will Ferrell does, right?
Yeah,
He's this kind of authority figure who can just, you know, be stupid. And
yeah.
that's what he's like
He's this
perfect
bumbling
at.
executive. Yeah, it was like his performance was plucked straight out of his like prime time in the two like mid to late 2000s, right?
Okay, let's not push it too much.
Maybe
I
not like high
maybe not.
tier, but like I could see it being a part of that like run, maybe like one of the lows, maybe if we want to really get into it. But
Okay.
I loved what he provided to the film. It like
Yes.
some people have said it's like very underutilized, or like he just shows up randomly and doesn't lend a lot to the story overall. But I think he was a great addition, and he just was having fun the entire
Yeah.
time, which
Yeah, I think where he was used, it was great because
was well done.
that ensemble of Mattel employees was I think it was a great
So
addition.
good, yeah. Yeah, other than that, I think that's nothing but a strong recommendation for me. If you were maybe a little hesitant, if your partner was like trying to convince you to go to this film and like
Go.
drag you to the theater to go see it, I would say don't be as hesitant. It's hilarious. Ryan Gosling steals the show
Yes.
so much of the time, and I think uh, you'll have a really fun time. And it's also just got a really like heartwarming message as well towards the end of the film. Like it's
Yes.
not just straight comedy; it's got like a lot of uh, endearment baked into it as well, which is
Yeah.
really great. Provides a little bit more dimension. So I think that's where we'll leave our spoiler-free review. So if you don't want to know anything else about Barbie going in, then pause the review here now, and then come back once you've seen it.
And this is a strong please leave this video right now if you have not seen Barbie and go see it first.
This
Like
is the
I am
second
urging
part
you.
of the spoiler
I
review,
am
or the
urging
spoiler
you
free.
to go see Barbie right now and then come back to this
Yeah,
because it's worth it. It's worth every penny.
every penny. Okay, Jake, highlights and lowlights. Where do you want to
I
start?
I could probably go on like a 45 minute Like,
That's what we're here for,
I can
baby.
go on like a 45-minute analysis of the entirety of I'm Just Ken and how literally perfect that entire sequence was, from the start, from like him playing the guitar on the beach to like
Yeah.
going and like being all sad and starting the song, into the freaking beach battle with like the 80, like the classic 80s rock guitar solo. He's giving someone like a noogie, and
Yeah.
and like the nipple twist, like just dude,
Oh my
it
God, I
was
forgot
just
about the
like
nipple twist.
it was amazing. And then they go into that like like the stage where they're in the all I'm dressed like it right
You
now.
are, yeah.
And they do like the the whole dance number.
It was
Oh my goodness,
amazing,
I
man.
cannot believe. And so I'm Just Ken, favorite part of the movie. And then I just want to continue with Ryan Gosling for a second.
Sure, let's do it.
His one thing that I'm not that I've seen a couple people say, but one thing that I don't think is getting enough recognition is his facial reactions. You can
Yeah.
tell just by looking at his face how he feels. Like during the dance sequence, you can see him leaning against that like post, and then he like puts the drink away, and then he like gets into his like dancing mode.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
there's
like a
like,
lot of the time when he's like reacting to the other Kens too, he's like, oh,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
so
no,
good.
it was so great. And then another one, just straight up Sigma grindset Ken after visiting the real world. It's like, I got to visit the library to go look up trucks.
I love that line so much. That line killed me in the movie theater. I was
Like, just
dead.
I thought horses ran the patriarchy, but I
Yeah.
was wrong. like like I it's stuff like that that was so satirical yet funny, because like it's just the most dude thing ever. And
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, that's
dialing those stereotypes up to 11,
but
but also not really, because like
yeah.
there are a lot of like people and guys out there like that it's like, oh my God, this is
I,
horrible.
I also need to give a little kudos uh to the costuming team. Sigma Grindset Ken
Dude.
had like the sickest getup. Like he had the Metallica logo Ken
Yeah.
fanny pack, and
Yeah.
then yeah, no, it was amazing. And then like the vest with the tassels, like
Oh, yeah.
it was done perfectly. I thought everything that Ryan Gosling's Ken, everything done with him was done perfectly. I don't think there was a better way you could do it.
I think, yeah, if there was anything for me on that end to critique, it would be I would have loved to see more of that like heel turn in character
Yep.
with like finding himself and whatnot. um that could almost be like its own short film, like
Yeah.
a opener, like a Pixar short film type thing before like Greta Gerwig's next movie. It's just Ken, and he's back in the real world trying to find himself and become like a better man.
Yeah.
I would watch that 100%. Um, but yeah, everything in the movie itself was really good. He served as a great antagonist to Margot Robbie's Barbie. I'm looking at the IMDb page right now, and it
Yeah.
just says Barbie, Barbie,
Yeah.
Barbie, Barbie,
Yeah.
Ken, Ken,
It
Ken.
just says Barbie Ken, Mattel CEO.
Yeah.
Another thing, Michael Cera as Alan.
Oh,
Any
Alan,
any
so
like
good.
moments with him where we just cut to him, he's just standing there.
Yeah.
And then the moment when he's like, I need to get out of here, and just starts beating the shit out of all of
Dude, he has
the
his own like freaking fully John Wick moment at the
yeah,
edge
and
of
then he's
Barbie Land.
and then like, oh, we gotta go back to Barbie. He's like, oh, I'm
I'm
never
never
gonna
getting
leave.
out of here. Yeah. That was very
uh
good. Michael
yeah.
Cera was perfectly cast. All of the cast was amazing. They were so
Yes.
good. John Cena making an
John
appearance.
Cena, like it was used perfectly,
It was so good.
Like the Sigma grind set mermaid.
Mermaid
And he
Barb or Ken,
but
yeah.
who would have thought that John Cena and Dua Lipa as a duo as mermaids would be like sick?
Yeah,
It would, no,
amazing.
no, yeah.
Um yeah, I also just wanted to like go back quickly to the production team, man. Like they like carried this movie. Like if it was half stepped even a little bit, it wouldn't have been as convincing. But like they went balls to the wall with the set design and the costume design. I really want a I am Knuff sweater.
Those are
That would be
selling right
great.
now.
They have to be selling. it also just blows me away how, I mean, it's easy because of the brand of Barbie, but like just the sheer amount of marketing around this film and
Yeah,
like product
yeah,
tie-ins and everything.
yeah. So Mattel's selling the I Am Knuff hoodie, sold out every size.
Of course it is. Oh man. But yeah, it like the production design on this film was like that. I think has to be nominated, at the very least. If it doesn't get a
if
nomination, we
if
write
we're
it because
talking,
like, my god.
yeah, if we're talking Oscars, I can see. I've been saying 4 nominations I expect:
Okay.
production design,
Uh-huh.
costumes and hairstyling,
Yeah.
um, Ryan Gosling supporting actor,
And
and I'm Just
original
Ken
song.
original song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the 4 that they should get. And you could even argue Margot Robbie for a lead role because
She
like
was good. Like, I
she
mean, she
flowed a
was
bit.
great, but like she didn't have like a ton until towards the end of the movie to like
Yeah.
really have some range. And I mean, her character is literally stereotypical Barbie, so like she does play it, I guess, one note. It sounds like reductive, but like it does work well within the context of the movie. It's just that like in terms of like actual full body performance, it's not maybe as, she doesn't get as much wiggle room to play, at least not towards the end of the film, I found. But it was still really good. Like it's a weird like dual thing.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I would completely agree with those picks for Academy Award nominees. Um, I mentioned to Shay that it would have been so good if we got it. It's kind of like a nitpicky low light for the film, but I would have loved if we got that 2001 riff in the beginning of the film without like any marketing behind it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
like the
could
match
you
cut in the beginning.
imagine? Yeah, could you imagine if we went into this film blind and didn't see that? And it
See
just
the
opens with a 2001 riff? Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I would have been blown away.
Yeah, it would, that was great. Even seeing that teaser for the first time, it was sick.
Well, yeah, that teaser, yeah. I will say it was a very, very good, like eye-catching piece of marketing for the film. It's like so unexpected. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have guessed in a million years that they would have done something like that. Um, yeah, man. I don't know what like other than like maybe going into like some of our favorite scenes or like even some of our favorite one-liners from
B-
Ken.
Before
Uh
I think before we get into more praising, I do have like I do have something of like a nitpicky low light. I wouldn't
sure.
consider it a low light. It's just more of like a eh. It was the storyline of, okay, you need to go to the real world to stop this person from playing with you and giving you cellulite.
Right.
I thought that was a funny angle. I just thought they never really closed that part of it. They never addressed it when Gloria first gets in contact with Barbie. It was just like, oh yeah, I've been playing with the Barbies again, and then that's kind of where they leave it. It's like, hey, there was no like, hey, you got to stop giving me cellulite and all this stuff.
Yeah, well, it kind of became, she thought it would be solved by just bringing her back to Barbie Land, I guess,
Yeah,
to show her how like great everything is there, but then it like turns into that Ken
Kenland
has taken over. Yeah, Ken Land. Um yeah, I
or
can
no
see that.
Kendom.
Kendom, yeah. Oh yeah, what were the uh Mojo Dojo Casa House?
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
So
That was,
fucking good,
yeah,
man.
once, like I said, Sigma Grindset Ken,
Oh my
as
god.
as as much as it
Like
represents
hilarious.
as much as it represents something like I guess an issue with toxic masculinity, I think that it was hilarious. I think
No,
that
it
it
was
was just
absolutely hilarious.
turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's fun. I love like even little mannerisms, like when he when Barbie goes up to him and asks him to be his long-term
He
low
goes back
commitment.
in the house. Sublime.
Then he comes back and he's like, so
Yeah, I guess we could do
I
that.
guess, yeah. But what was it? Long-term low commitment girlfriend?
Long term no,
low maintenance.
long-term distance, low commitment. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Such a convoluted. And then they have that riff while they're like sitting in each of their houses, and it's like, what don't they understand about long-term distance, low commitment girlfriend? Like, that was very good.
Uh,
The beach fire scene was so
that
good
was
when they
so
like
funny.
zoom out and it's
It's
all of
everyone.
the cans. Oh my god.
Uh,
So well done. What else? I going back to some of the heart of the film, I really liked the Ruth bits as
yeah,
well with Barbie. Those were really heartwarming. I loved Barbie being able to like decide for herself to like decide whether she wants to just stay as a Barbie or embrace this new reality. And it like was one of the best. There's so many good one-liners in the film, but
a
like
lot.
the last line of the film is just so good. And like I had a feeling they were gonna go in this like route, but like I couldn't have guessed where specifically they were going. I was expecting
Yeah.
like a job interview or something, right? Or
Me
like to
too.
pick up like a prescription or whatever. But yeah, I'm here to see my gynecologist. It's so hilarious.
That just cuts. And
Yeah,
I mean, considering the humor of the whole movie, I mean, it completely fits with what they were doing.
totally. It's like totally consistent for sure. Um, yeah. Beyond, I mean, we could just sit here for like at least another hour, probably just going over our favorite scenes and moments.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there were any other big lowlights for me. Um, I don't
I
think
think it was a
so.
nice and tight under 2 hours. Like you kind of remember the flow of the film.
Yeah.
I think it another. I know you're trying to find lowlights, but another highlight was the opening with that Lizzo song, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they did it the next day, and it's like everything's wrong.
She's like commentating on it while it's happening too, right?
Yeah.
That was very good. The Helen Mirren's narration was also very well
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Note to the studio: don't hire Margot Robbie if you want to make this point. That
Yeah.
was very good as well.
Um, what else? I love how they included like the discontinued Barbies and like the pregnant
Oh
Barbie like
yeah,
scared Will Ferrell in the end.
the jump
It's like, oh
scare.
jeez, I thought we discontinued her.
Yeah, yeah. The sugar daddy Ken hiding in
Oh,
the playhouse.
Kate McKinnon is weird Barbie
She was
doing the
great.
splits everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought like she'd be like somewhere randomly doing the splits, and it's so funny because that's like a thing with Barbie. People would just put her in the
yeah,
splits,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like this is what happens when you play too hard with your Barbies.
yeah. And she gets, speaking of jump scares, she gets a jump scare as well with that
Yeah,
like flash of a real Barbie.
yeah,
Yeah, very good overall. We could sit here just picking apart our favorite one-liners
yeah,
forever. I do want to just mention like Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach knocked it out of the park. I
yeah,
think it's one of like her best films to date. She's been very consistent with her work, but like this is just another uh, smoke show for sure.
yeah. I remember seeing Noah Baumbach's name on this movie, and this was and as soon as I saw that, I this is coming from me who saw his last movie White Noise that didn't quite
Oh
hit with
right.
me, that
Oh
had
okay.
Greta Gerwig in it, and so I was like, like I don't know how you're gonna be able to tackle such two different movies
Hmm.
because I thought White Noise was gonna be a little more lighthearted, but it wasn't. It was a pretty serious movie.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
that had some good it had some good moments. It just didn't really hit for me, but I think that team, them as the team, they did great. It was
Totally. Yeah. I look forward to seeing them work together more, and I hope they work together more. But yeah, of her three, I guess technically four films so far, uh, consistent filmography from Greta Gerwig.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I think honestly, I don't want to overstay my welcome with this review. I don't have much else to say, negative or positive, really. That isn't just gushing more over all of the comedy in this film. So I think that's kind of where we'll leave it. It's a strong recommendation from me. I think it's a strong recommendation from Jake.
Yeah.
I actually, uh, I mean, ticket price aside, I would probably definitely go see this film again in theaters, honestly, especially just going to see it with a crowd. Like the crowd energy was great too. Even
Yeah.
got a couple like applause moments as well
Yeah,
with some of
a
the
lot of applause moments, like America Ferrera's
her
like
like speech, right?
monologue. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really good.
that
That was very well
that
done.
got a nice little applause in our theater.
Yeah.
I think just to piggyback off you, I think I think yeah, we could go over like every little thing, but I think we've gotten our point across that this is filled with one-liners. It's funny. It has
Hmm.
great performance, has great music, has great
It's
production design.
beautiful to look at. Yeah.
It's I don't think there is much else to say. I think
Hmm.
it's like we're not just gonna repeat every line.
No,
It's just so well done. It's one of the best of the year that I've seen.
totally.
And yeah,
Absolutely one of the best of the summer. Like, I mean, it's been a like kind of a low bar, but like easily top tier summer flick for you to go out to the theater and see it with all your friends dressed in pink regalia.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it for this review show. Jake, where can the people find you?
For movie related stuff, you can find me on letterboxd.com/Sturkenboom, Sturkenboom, as in Oppenheimer.
Nice.
Um, and you can see what I thought about Oppenheimer on there because this was the great duel of the summer.
Hmm.
And you can probably tell which movie I liked better. And this is coming from the biggest Mission Impossible simp
Yeah.
ever. And
Dude,
and
what a 1, 2, 3 for
that
you,
was
honestly.
yes, yeah, yeah. No, it was. No, it's July's been great, and
Yeah,
I'm glad that I got to tie the bow on top with Barbie, tie my
totally.
pink bow on top of whatever I was wrapping,
Right. Tom Cruise holding an atomic bomb, I
wearing
think.
pink.
Wearing pink. Exactly. Excellent. Any other recommendations?
Recommendations other than all the big blockbusters, go see Past Lives. Go see Past
Ooh,
Lives
yeah.
if you love romance and feeling sad about your sorry life. Um I
What
no
a great recommendation.
I'm not even joking. From the moment I saw the trailer, I knew that it was going to be an amazing movie, and it still exceeded any expectations I had for it. I think that I'm just gonna say that it is the best movie I've seen this year. I know that differs from a lot of people that I know, but still an
I would
amazing movie.
say I think it's not for me at least speaking to that movie. It has been much more of a slow burn, but it's definitely sat with me ever since I've seen
Yeah,
it. It's been in the back of my mind, and anytime I like pass it on my like lists or reviews or whatever again, it's like, man, that was an amazing film. Just
and
very well done.
and just to see it still in theaters after 2 months after like a very low key release and still seeing people going out to the theaters to see it and seeing those box office numbers go up, I'm
Yeah.
very glad that it's getting the recognition it deserves.
It's just as deserving of all of the big movies that you've heard more about and have had more marketing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I heartily agree with Jake on that one. Excellent. You can find me wherever you're listening to or watching this episode of the No Score Review Show. Like we've said countless times already, it's Barbenheimer weekend. So this review and the Oppenheimer review will be released within close succession of one another. So be sure to go check out the Oppenheimer review when that is out. I also did a review with Matt, not Jake, because Jake couldn't make it,
Yeah,
for Mission
sadly.
Impossible 7. So go check that out. And we've got some more. This might arguably be the climax of the summer movie season, depending on how August goes and the rest of July. But there still is more movies to come. We've got a few horror films coming
Oh
this
yes.
summer as well. Talk to Me, Last Voyage of the Demeter, TMNT, what is it called? Mutant Mayhem is in August as well. So that's exciting. Stay tuned for those. And yeah, Go check me out on all the socials and on Letterboxd at No Score or at No Score Reviews. And quick shout out to my Let's Play channel if you're into small indie game Let's Play content. At No Score Plays is where you can find all of that. And yeah, thank you all again so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts on the Barbie movie down in the comments below, or tweet me at No Score Reviews. And yeah, thanks again to Jake as well for being on the show. Once again, always a pleasure to have you. And we'll see you all in the next review.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.